Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Dan, and in today's video we are talking about my new-ish favorite lens, and I think it has taken over the 35mm for me. And this lens is this beast right here. This is the Canon 85mm f1.4 image stabilized L version, and it is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It has a huge front element. It has quite a lot of glass inside. It is quite heavy, but it isn't the biggest lens in the world, you know. I can quite comfortably carry this around with me in a backpack or just on the side of me with a camera strap and be fine. Let's talk about why do I love this lens so much, right? Why do I like it so much? And basically, I've got a couple of reasons for it. First thing is the fast aperture. It is f1.4, which means it's super fast. It lets in tons of light, and it makes the background or the foreground look very out of focus, because it is. That's what a shallow depth of field does. A faster aperture equals a shallower depth of field, plus the 85mm focal length, which makes images more compressed. So everything together equals stunning photos that have a really thin depth of field, and I really like the look of it for my photos. Now, I don't just use the 85mm for portraits, I also use it for a ton of street photography and urban photography, and I really like the look of it. And recently I started using it for video more and more, and I found that in B-roll setting, like 120 frames a second and at sunset or at night, it looks really phenomenal because it has image stabilization and 1.4, and the autofocus is really lightning fast on this lens, and yeah, it works great on my 1DX, and I really love it. The autofocus, as I mentioned before, is lightning fast. Compared to some of my other lenses, it is right up there. It is very fast, and compared even to my 70-200L lens, it is right up there. It is really fast. And I think that's very impressive when you consider it has to focus really accurately because of the f1.4, and when I'm shooting f1.4, most of my photos, 99% of them, are in focus all of the time. So I'm not worried about autofocus performance as much. Even my 35mm misses more shots than this. This rarely does miss, if it does at all. Now, what more do I like about this lens? Because it is an 85mm, when I, let's say, photograph people, I'm shooting portraits, and the scenario is I'm shooting portraits at the beach, and maybe I want to put something before the lens, like a foreground object, like let's say a rock. Just a tiny bit of it. It is so much out of focus, like it is so blurry, that it gives a unique look to the image, a unique aesthetic that many other lenses struggle with. And I found that for my style, my particular style of shooting, it works really well for that. And not every lens does that. Because my 35mm, yeah, it is 1.4 and the images are gorgeous. Yes, they are. But because they aren't as compressed, or they are not compressed at all, actually, it is harder to achieve my style of photos that I want to achieve. And because of that, this lens is 90% of the time on my camera for the last year or so, since I bought it. I rarely switch lenses when I'm shooting portraits or street photography, because I love the look that this lens offers me. Yeah, it is a prime lens, and it is restricting in some ways, because it's an 85, it can't focus that close, Yeah, it's not a macro lens, but I have other lenses for this kind of shooting. So this really does everything I wanted it to do. Yeah, this lens is expensive. You don't have to get this exact one. There are many other options. If you're shooting Canon, Canon makes the 85 1.8, which is significantly cheaper than this, but also offers a really good image. It is, I think, $350. It is significantly cheaper, and I would consider it the upgrade to the Nifty 50. And there is a heavier version, quite a bit heavier version of this, which is an 85 1.2. It doesn't have image stabilization, but it does have a faster aperture. In fact, it does have a faster aperture, 33% faster than f1.4. So it will give you a shallower depth of field, but from my experience, I rather choose the 1.4 version because it has a snappier autofocus, and I use the image stabilization at on, and I think it is worth it. Sacrifice a bit of that aperture and get image stabilization and a faster, much faster autofocus system. And for me, the final reason why I love this lens, and this lens actually makes me not use my 70-200 as often as I used to do. This lens is like this, and the 70-200 is really big. I have it right there in the background. It is really big, and when I'm just walking around with my camera, yeah, I know I have a big 1DX, but with a big white tele lens on it, it actually looks like a weapon. It really does. But with this, it doesn't look so scary. For me, 85mm is just enough. I don't need much more than this, and if I do have other lenses for that, but the 200mm, I don't use it as much, because I found the 200mm doesn't give me much more than the 85 at 1.4. So yeah, and there are other cheaper options from Sigma and Tamron, I think. Every major lens manufacturer has an 85 of their own. They are all good, you can try them all. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos about lenses and camera gear and tutorials, just like this video, it helps me a ton. And comment down below what you want to see, because I will make a video about whatever you guys want to actually see. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!